My full name is Collins Duke Namakhwa. I am from Cholo district of Malawi, the same southern region here. My background is a bit interesting. I've been a student at Cholo Secondary School. Then the first time I came to Blantyre, I was selected to go to the Polytechnic, study for my bachelor's. Then since after I finished my bachelor's, I've worked within the financial institutions, one of them, for a year. Then I went to work with a certain college, Malawi College of Accountancy, before I came to Polytechnic. It's been my interest always to be a lecturer, but not just a lecturer, I would say a researcher. So I thought at Polytechnic I would get more research opportunities, from which that's why I would say I was able to get this scholarship. But it wasn't because I'm working at Polytechnic that I'm studying for the MPhil. It was advertised clearly in the newspapers. Everybody had to apply, and I did apply and was able to successfully get allowed to come and study at Polytechnic again. So right now I'm on study leave. I'm doing this, we started last year in October, and we are going to finish somehow in also October 2015. Yeah, my research is on solar. I'm much looking at community-based PV systems. On mine, I'm looking at the profile of the market for CSPV systems in Malawi, but that's somehow too broad. So I thought, maybe let me look at two case studies. So I'm looking at one case study, which is Malawi. It's a village, a solar village. And another one, somehow it's established for 2-3 years. And also C-Code, it's another NGO. They are also doing solar villages, and one of them is in Salima in the central region. So I selected these two for a comparative analysis. But I'm going to look at these two as case studies, especially on how the market is performing in them. Though that's not enough, so I'm also going to look at the regulators and other stakeholders that are playing in the market. In the end, then I'll come up with somehow a summary of the market here in Malawi, maybe which can be used as comparative for other markets around the world. That Malawi is somehow one of those countries that are the poorest. And here in Malawi, we don't have to hide this. We are indeed one of the poorest, but we would like to come out of the poverty trap. One of the things that government is doing is they would like to empower the rural masses. What drives development is energy. But the problem with Malawi is that we have a sole energy supplier, a main sole energy supplier. Otherwise, we are looking at charcoal burning and deforestation that goes with it. So government, through ESCOM, had two strategies, either to increase the grid or to find ways that would empower the rural masses in terms of energy, but not using the grid, because the grid is more expensive. So the rural electrification project, which government is implementing under the Malawi Growth Development Strategy, one of which is to explore these off-grid energy sources. My take is that one of the best off-grid sources is solar. My motivation is, my question is, what is it that is blocking the somehow quick development of the CSPV? Because this is community-based, and most communities could benefit from it. My research, therefore, is motivated by that. I would want to know what are the factors that are the barriers and challenges in the market. Why is it, for example, that solar villages are being implemented by donors? After the donors have thought this should have been just like a pilot, and then somebody should have come in Malawi to invest in the market. But nobody's doing it. Why is that the case? Is it the policies? Is it the economics that surrounds it? Is it the nature of the supply chain which ought to be changed? So for me to find out those answers, that's why I thought this is a very good topic. After all, we are all looking at development, and as part of academia, we ought to be people who have to research into this. That's why I went straight to this. But personally, I wanted to, in the end, my results, I'm going to share them. I believe Strathclyde is also interested in it because Strathclyde is interested in development again. But besides Strathclyde, because Strathclyde, well, you are not Malawians. So I think I will share the results of my research with others. Key players like MERA, Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority, that look here guys, these are some of the challenges that I've seen. And can we further look into it? I think that my research is going to engender further debate in the area and also further research in it. And especially for me, I thought in the end I'm going to look at, now here are the challenges, what can I do or what can we do as all Malawians in order to develop the market. Yeah, sure. If my research goes according to plan, somehow if I'm going to come out with that information which I really wish we could study, then I think it is going to have a major impact. I'm sure it is going to have not only an economic impact, but also a social impact. A number of people are going to use this research, not only policymakers, but also people who are on the receiving end of policy, which is the rural masses, which is what we are looking for at present. You look at, in terms of health and information, agriculture and information, education and information, lighting for school-going students. In terms of health and in terms of businesses, it is going to empower rural masses to do their businesses. If those barriers to market development could be identified and therefore analyzed and therefore dealt with. So I think health educators, agricultural people who might provide information could use it now through the TV and radios. It's going to help them. So yeah, I think the research is going to be helpful, not only for the regulators, but also the people on the receiving end, which is the rural masses. That's what I'm looking at, and I think it is going to have a major impact, but maybe today it might look like, no, it can't, but I think it will in the end. This arrangement is one of the arrangements which we've been looking for a long time. Here in Malawi, there's this kind of respect which people give to somebody who has studied outside Malawi. But the model which Strathclyde is using is one model which I wished everybody was using, to study in Malawi and do Malawian things by Malawians. I think it is going to go a long way towards having respect or developing respect for Malawian education and Malawian educators. And this research, in terms of how it has been crafted, is as good as doing it anywhere. Except that now you are also doing it in your own country, which is going to be helpful to your own country members. So yeah, not that because you're from Strathclyde, that's why I'm telling you. But maybe you should get it from this point of view that I had a number of opportunities where I could have studied outside the country. But I chose this one because I didn't see any difference. So this saves costs also. You don't need to go outside the country and do your research, which might even not be relevant for Malawi. But this one is relevant because it is being done on Malawian people and for Malawian people. So yeah, I think everybody could have done it. It is going to save costs also. First, I'd like to continue the study on a higher level. I would like to do a PhD. Looking at how other countries like Kenya have developed their CSPV markets, I would want to develop a model of how this market would also develop in Malawi and how we might diffuse the spread of CSPVs across Malawi. I would say without the support of donors. Then I would want to implement what I've come up with. So I would want one day to work with government at the policy making level so that I might implement that in developing the market.